Yes, another housing market crash video. Fear of missing out, or FOMO, was blamed for the big run-up in sales and prices during the past couple of years. There's a new acronym in town, FOMB. That is fear of missing bottom. Hey there, Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates. We are boots in the ground helping buyers and sellers make the best data-driven decisions during these crazy days in this housing market. And we're here to talk about FOMB.
FOMB, fear of missing bottom. Symptoms may include anxiety, paralysis of analysis, headaches from overconsumption of negative housing market news, burnout from unrealistic expectations and housing market crash, anger at those who bought a home, extreme fear that you'll overpay, depression about ever being able to buy a home.
Fear of missing bottom is actually a double-edged sword. You're afraid to jump in too soon because you might not be at the bottom yet, but then you're afraid to jump in too late because you may have missed the bottom then. Before we run through 4 questions you need to answer to overcome fear of missing bottom, wait, this just in? Yes, you have missed the bottom of the market in the past. The first step to overcoming fear of missing bottom is to acknowledge the fact that you have missed the bottom before.
So I'm sure you'll love me reminding you about this. Of course, you missed the bottom of the market when it comes to interest rates. You have to go back 2 years to get the very bottom, according to Freddie Mac. That was 2.65 back then. And right now we're way higher, over 6. So you missed out on the bottom of the interest rates. Although if you got a mortgage anytime before the big run up in 2022, you were doing okay. Even if you decided to jump in August of 2022, you'd be lower than where you are now. So you missed the bottom there. And you missed the bottom of the market when it comes to buying real estate. And I'm again sure you're glad I'm reminding you of this. You can see that we had the global financial crisis. You had basically 2 chances to get close to the bottom. There in the beginning of 2011 and there in the beginning of 2012. From there it went up. Now the other side of it is, had you bought any time before 2020, in 2019, you would be better off than where you are now as far as median home prices, according to the website Do Not Quit Your Day Job. So now that we see the median home prices starting to go down, and we're seeing this in many spots across the nation, let's make sure that you don't have fear of missing bottom.
The important first question is, are you really a buyer? If you woke up tomorrow and the housing market was 50% off, would you be able to buy? Are you in position to buy a home right now? You need to answer that question. You need to have the savings for a down payment plus closing costs. You need to check your credit. You need to go ahead and get pre-approved by a lender. It's never too early. And in doing that, you may find there's a few things you can do that will help you afford a little bit more home or make your payments lower. A lot of the folks you see in the comment section in particular, and some other YouTubers talking about the market and how you shouldn't buy, actually they couldn't buy. So make sure that you are ready to buy and get your financial ducks in a row. Are you tracking your local housing market? Of course, it's easy to find headlines and content talking about national numbers. One piece of advice, the YouTubers you're listening to, check and see just how long they have been predicting a housing market crash. In many cases, it has been years. Be careful the sources that you're using. Now, of course, what's going on at the national level is important, but it's even more important what's going on in your local area. I grew up in small town Ohio. The market statistics there are pretty much irrelevant to Southern California, where I live right now. So you need to understand the number of homes that are being listed, days on market, median home prices going up or down. So you want to wrap your head around demand and supply, and in particular for your price range. Of course, you can rely on local resources to help you with this. We're going to show you right now another resource you can use with Altos Research Reports.
There is a whole lot of information in here, including their market action index, has the number of listings that are available, that's the total inventory, median days on market, a whole lot more. You can slice it up by market segments. There's so much you can do with these Altos Research Reports, and no matter where you are in the United States, every city or zip code is in here. Even if you're in a peculiar place like peculiar Missouri, you can get your data. Type in in your city or zip code and it will pull up the data if it's available. And then you click here to sign up. And every week you will receive an updated report in your email inbox with your local data so that you don't miss the housing market bottom in your market.
You need to figure out what your strike price is. And by strike price, we mean what is the number that is going to make you actually want to buy a house. We know that the very top of the market and the very bottom of the market have one thing in common, and that is you can't tell that you saw either until you look back in the rearview mirror. So it's going to be up to you to figure out a number where it makes sense for you to buy. It isn't just about the price of the home. It's also, as we've seen, about the interest rate as well. So when you factor those two numbers together, do you get to a monthly payment that makes sense for you? So you may find that prices may be slightly higher or slightly lower based on what the going interest rate is at the time. So when interest rates drop, something that maybe you wouldn't have thought was affordable or something you wouldn't have paid that number for may make sense, and it may be time for you to jump in. That's why it's important to do the pre-approval very early on so that you know the numbers and you can be ready when your strike price comes. Let me know in the comments below what your strike price is based on a percentage off current median home prices. And finally, are you ready to write offers? You are ready and able to buy, and you've been tracking your local market and you've figured out what your strike price is going to be. Now it's time to start writing offers. Hopefully by now you found an agent who you're working with, who you can trust, and who's looking out for your best interests, and you're ready to start to submit on homes. You aren't going to time up the bottom of the market right unless it's a complete accident. You have zero chance of timing it up and getting even close to the bottom if you're not actually writing offers. Don't let FOMB prevent you from actually making a purchase at all. Write offers. If the number doesn't work, the seller doesn't agree to your terms, then you move on and you write offers on something else. And you may find that while you're out there searching and writing offers that you find the perfect place for you, maybe something you have to pay just a little bit extra for, but that is the right home for you. Don't let FOMB prevent you from finding that home that is the right one for you at the right time. Get out there and write offers. If you found this video helpful, I'd like you to do me a favor. If you could share it with at least 2 people, one you think will love this video and one you think will hate it. Do you have fear of missing bottom, or have we cured you with this video? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from you where you think the housing market's headed in 2023. Join all the cool kids or the people who like to think they're cool kids, and subscribe for my free weekly email newsletter where we cover topics like this plus a whole lot more you are not going to want to miss. And speaking of what you're not going to want to miss, this next video is going to give you more info on housing market 2023. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we want to hear from you.